Today on Bible Time, we're going to everyone's favorite book. The book that's just plastered over bumper stickers and coffee mugs, Leviticus. Let's get after it. Welcome to Bible Time. I'm Raj Nair, and you and I are here simply to renew our joy for this awesome book. And I know the second I said Leviticus, there's some of you who are watching that went, ugh, I get that. But the more I read it in context, there's some stuff in there that I think you and I should definitely be discussing. So our verses come out of Leviticus 19. And these verses, as I was studying for this Bible time, I was thinking to myself, that's so good. In fact, this very first verse, I think we should read kind of slowly because I think it's just amazing. Ready? Do not pervert justice. Do not show partiality to the poor or favoritism to the great, but judge your neighbor fairly. And I think at certain times, in certain centuries, in certain places, people would think, oh, well, they're poor, they must be right. Or, hey, they're rich, they must be right. Well, Scripture says, regardless of someone's economic standings, judge rightly, do true justice. Do not go about spreading slander among your people. Do not do anything that endangers your neighbor's life. I am the Lord. Do not hate a fellow Israelite in your heart. Rebuke your neighbor frankly so you will not share in their guilt. Do not seek revenge or bear a grudge against anyone among your people, but love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. Now, historically, when I thought about Leviticus, I thought about all the things that seemed super outdated and not relatable to me, but I had no idea that these verses were in there. And love your neighbor as yourself, man, that sure sounds, I don't know how else to put it, super Christian-y. And as we've talked about in previous Bible times, the same God of Leviticus is the same God of John and Romans. His character should be throughout all 66 books of the Bible. And then we just saw is exactly that. Love your neighbor as yourself. Found right here in Leviticus 19. Like, we can get behind Genesis and like the Psalms, but like the weird stuff, right? The Leviticus stuff. We're like, oh, goodness gracious. I'm out. Go back to this. If we can fall in love with all 66 books of the Bible and see what God's saying and doing, it's going to help our love and joy and trust that all of Scripture is God-breathed. All right, how about you and I go out and do what Leviticus says here? Love our neighbors as ourselves. All right, much love. God bless.